So, there's that, your waist is a little smaller, like not as long. You get different effects. You get different. The bones in here tend to, I think they're a bit higher up. There's a whole bunch of different things going on. It's like, and your body's actually different, but it also deforms the bones a bit because genetically you're supposed to be a male, and you're being given these hormones, and it literally messes with the way your bones grow and everything grows. And it messes also with your facial bones as well, because usually men would tend to have a little stronger, bones and facial bones, and women would have a little more finer bones. So, I mean, I kind of got a bit more fine. I'm in the middle, it's like half and half. So it's like my body a bit, I don't look like a girl or anything necessarily, but if you look closely, you kind of see that there's some shapes that are a bit, a bit feminine, or at least I think they are. Because I've seen, my brothers, and I know it's like my uncles, I've seen, all these men in my life who didn't get estrogen necessarily as much as I did, and you could tell. But even then, sometimes, it doesn't affect necessarily men as much, but that much in that way. But actually, the truth is that pretty much, like, I think it's almost all of them. It's like pretty much all of them. I would say all of them. Men who get, young boys who get estrogen, their bodies will tend to be more kind of androgynous, and they'll tend to have male and female features a bit, commingling. So what happens as well with that is that a male like that gets estrogen young will tend to be actually shorter than what they were supposed to be. And some of them it's less obvious, they're not as short as others. It depends. Some lose like half an inch or a quarter inch, and some people will lose like 3 or 3.5 inches, So it varies a bit. You get different effects on your body. So these things, that I didn't know why my body was like that. I didn't really feel that insecure about it necessarily as I got older, because, like I said, working out. I got a lot of compliments. People seemed to be attracted to me, so I just, didn't make too much of it. But I also think that these people who gave it to me were also trying to make me forget that, because I might have guessed, or I might have figured that something was being put in my body that shouldn't be there, So, like I'm saying, genetically, I should have had that very virile body. I should have been taller. I should have, had a few other features that should have been a little more masculine. But since I didn't get that, well, it's like my genes are like, they're like the map. So it's like they still know. And it's like a part of me still knows that that part of me is missing. So what I do is I probably, I'm guessing, I compensate. So I'll be like, okay, well, I'll be attracted to the most virile bodies. I'll be attracted to the most virile guys. And I'll look for that. The most virile facial features, the most virile everything, Everything. And, I also have to say that I lost a few inches on my penis as well, That too, that happens. You tend to have a smaller penis because of the estrogen. Even smaller balls sometimes. It's all little things that happen. I noticed with the estrogen, sometimes my lips are actually a little more, pulpy. I don't know how to say it, but I'm sitting in French. They're just a little thicker, a little more full, There's little things like that happen, I've noticed that actually, especially in the last year. I was always, getting these pains in my body in different places, especially my hips. My hips, you know, they would get really, really sore. I've had moments where I literally had, you know, trouble, you know, a bit moving and doing sports. You know, I could walk, I could move, but it hurt a bit, you know, so I had to kind of push through it. So I get these pains in my legs, in my hips, in my lower back, and sometimes in my neck. And I would also get these horrible, horrible headaches, you know. And these are also effects of the estrogen. And, you know, looking back now, I mean, I had these pains when I was a kid, when I was really young. You know, I remember at least at around 8 years old, I mean, I remember the pain in my calves. I mean, because you see, that's one of the things, and the guys tend to have the longer calves and women tend to have the longer thighs, right? So, right, even then, it was literally affecting my growth, the growth of my bones, and causing me physical pain. So, and that continued on, off and on throughout the years. So, that's all part of it, you know. Different things happen, you know. And I've seen it. I've seen these guys, you know, that have these type bodies, and it's kind of interesting. Not all, I don't know. From what I understand, when you get it young, it affects your your body a little more. You know, your physique. It affects your bones and everything. It affects the way you look a bit. When you get a bit older, it tends to, you know, I kind of turn guys a little more gay. So they tend to be a little more gay because of it, or they'll tend to be attracted to other guys, or start getting attracted to guys. And you get this happening at all kinds of ages. So you get people who, we can discover ourselves a lot older. I don't know. I'm not sure about that anymore. I'm almost like, well, maybe they got estrogen at one point. Who knows? But generally, strangely, I know, and it's weird, some of the guys that I tend to be attracted to usually are actually these guys that are naturally more, genetically more man, but are gay because of estrogen. No, I don't know if it's all of them, but I've noticed that it's happened a few times for me, so, and that I've seen it a few times, so I figure, you know, it's like I said, just compensating, and it got worse and worse and worse and worse. And like the older I got, the more I compensated, the further I went. I was like fucking like really like macho chauvinist fucking pig. I couldn't care less. I'm like, yeah, that's all man for me. I don't care. So I really didn't want the family kind of type thing, and I just kept getting worse and worse. And it's like, go typical male, you know, like fireman, or like, you know, it was like somebody who does sports, you know, something. That's what I want. I didn't want any, you know, like other types of, just didn't interest me, you know. It's like, I wanted to be with real guys. I didn't want to be with guys that were more like women, and, you know, their habits or the way they are. So it's like, it's just something I think that I did, and it's exaggerated. It really is exaggerated. It really is, and I know, I understand now that it's just, it was a way for my body to fight back in some ways, you know. It was a way for my mind to fight back, because they were taking a part of me, and they were cutting a part of me out, you know. It's like taking a part of my personality, and they were making me repress it, and they were repressing it with all these drugs and estrogen and everything. So, I mean, it's sad.